Good morning to everybody. Thank you for that throughout for the invitation and for giving me the reason to be back in Rio. It is one of my favorite cities in the world. Not only because it's beautiful, because we also have our honeymoon here many years ago. I'm not going to say how many years ago, but you can tell this picture. So we will talk about the time. Huh? Okay, so I'm going to talk about this rapid method for monitoring the effect of herbicides in agriculture. And this is I'm not an environmentalist. I'm not doing monitoring myself. What we are doing is working on backgrounds in chemistry and moon chemistry. So what we are doing is using this knowledge to develop new methods or simple methods to measure environmental contaminants. So instead of showing a lot of data collected from the environment, I'd rather we show actual development. So it's going to be a little bit different than some other presentation. And the other thing I want to warn you is that I'm going to talk about methods that are simple, that are reliable, and you have been writing once required some very expensive equipment. But we are not competing, we are just complementary, so don't worry, we also work very much. Okay. So we started with this many years ago, and we're doing reason in the way that, of course, always when there is an immunoactivity, we have seen many samples in this case, and there is possibility of contamination, and then you can measure both for the compound. So you can try to detect some biomarkers in the normal urine, or you can also check for some blooms of, for instance, bacteria that are also result of contamination. In all these cases, this is the water measure, but we also need tools or instruments to measure the and how to measure this separation, because there are, of course, many options in terms of instrumental analysis, but sometimes this is a limitation in this part of the world. So we have started this alternative way for providing ways of starting doing analysis, even though we will see that sometimes these immunoassays that we develop are not so, they are not considered so accuracy is not so high of instrumental analysis, but they still can give valuable information. So we have started a program with collaboration with David many years ago, and with this collaboration we center our research in the development of immunoassays, and we have developed different immunoassays so far, sometimes for measuring compounds that are or proteins that are overexpressed or expressed in animals that should not be expressed, like enterogenine or oriogenine. We have also worked with an immunoassay to measure dioxin. There are some situations in our part of the world where the possible presence of dioxin is highly probable, like in this open fire industries. There is recycling of garbage, involved in recycling, and people end up burning in this way a lot of used plastic, etc. So there was some work around here and trying to check if this was an important source of dioxin. We have also used it in a more conventional way. This is just diagnosis, and here we are not measuring models, but this is also prevalent in the southern part of Brazil, Uruguay, Argentina, mostly here in Bolivia, Peru, and we are helping with human diagnosis is not so important in terms of immunoassays, the most important, but it's important to control the dog population, so we developed an assay to detect in mosquitoes, dog species, the presence of the parasite. And this is being used now in Chile, in this part of Argentina, and also we have friends and people from laboratories in Peru. We have also represented cyanobacteria. This here in this building, there is a very good group working with cyanobacteria, and mycotoxins are a very important problem. And we have also worked with this and also do some training to trying to spread the community in the region. Also with Peru, we have collaboration in that sense. I'm going to talk a little bit about this particular issue, that is detection of herbicides and sometimes toxins in agricultural production. Here we have a comparison between instrumental analysis and immunoassays, and the principle is, the working principle is different. Here we need the good supervision, and then you identify your compound based on the retention time, and you need to have a standard, you have enough money, you have sophisticated equipment that you can do mass analysis and get the structure of information. But immunoassays are working on the basis that antibodies can have a high specificity, so you can detect a compound in the mixture without the circulation. And this has the very advantage of simplicity. So once this recognition has occurred, of course it has to be converted into the signal. The most typical example is the license immunoassay, where the signal is due to some enzymatic reaction to a little bit more. And this is measured with a very simple equipment. So still there is an equipment here, but we are talking the difference mouth to mouth. If we consider what is important about the antibody, which is the main component of the immunoassay, it's important to consider that this is an equilibrium reaction. We need high affinity antibodies because we want just to have all the components of the immunocomplex, because this is what we detect. And of course we need specificity. This is something that we have to take into account when we are developing this assay. We are highly specific antibodies. Well, immunoassays can be developed into different formats. We can have the ELISA, which we have very deep, but there is also the possibility of having particle agglutination. There are some formats in strips where you can keep sticks, or more sophisticated immunochromatography. This is typical pregnancy test. But the antibody analyte reaction can be also important with immunosensors, electrodes, and this can be converted into signals, so we can also have sophistication and some additional information. So one of the reasons we started with this idea of developing the immunoassays as analytical is this. There is a very cost-effective injection. I mean, we are talking about prices that for us in parallel, but also do that this will be the value, and then for immunoassays, the cost per sample can be reduced enormously, especially if it is a combinated assay. So the fact that it's a very cost-effective technique is very important, I think, particularly for this part of the work. There is a high sensitivity. This is also a very good advantage. So many times you can go directly with the sample or with small dilution and still have a very good sensitivity. Also the specificity is good, but they are fast. You can do it in a short time. They can also be portable, so you can adapt them into the field. There are, of course, some disadvantages. If you want to develop an immunoassay, you have to think in terms of master units. So that's the problem. We need to resolve it much more easily. It takes a lot of time. So only if you have a big load of samples and you are thinking into regular use of the assay, very good result. The prepared compounds can be a problem because they like water, which is very sensitive. They are restricted to one compound in many cases, because in some cases you can have a group detection. So instead with microsystems, we have antibodies that have a group activity with more or less all the compounds. The magic effect can be a problem and needs to be studied, but this is true for us. So, but this is important because many times when you buy a commercial kit, it was validated for some particular magic system. You have to know that you cannot work with it. Well, going into the problem that I'm having, I can just to tell you a little bit more about the immunoassays. But the main thing you're going to see is we needed in some point to develop an assay to control the dispersion of herbicides in rice production. Rice production in Uruguay is very important because the main agricultural product that is soybeans catching up now. But this remains agricultural product in cancer exporting, and we are in 7th position worldwide exporting rice. There is a whole area here in our continent that is producing rice. There are other places too. But I'm going to talk about what is happening here. And there is a combination of the production of rice that you can see here is wetlands. And these wetlands are not any wetlands. This is a very important area that was not named as a UNESCO biosphere reserve. We have a lot of the animal diversity that we have is there. So it's a very sensitive area. This area that is around here is slowly draining to these rivers. And some of them the water is coming. Ricardo was talking the other day about the way needed are things. We also have an episode here. The person who said that why are we going to wait that the water goes all this way if we need to drain the terrain? So there is a canal here, which is shown here. It's a large canal that is conducting draining the water from this wetland. And this immediately during the beach here. There's also an indication for children because we have beaches there, and there was all this cloudy water that makes the water flow So that was one of the consequences. There is also there is a rotation between rice production and cattle production. This is also very important because this is also a very important production for everyone, and for everyone particularly because this is a national. We are very careful about how we treat the cow. I was saying that we have 3 million and we have 12 million cows. So the way that rice is produced is planted is without growing, and then there is a growing period that is about 60 days, and then the field has to be drained in order to be able to do the job. And when there is this draining is the problem, because when they are draining the fields, they are releasing the water into most of it's going to the west. So here we were contacted by the producers. They wanted to have a method to be able to decide whether it was okay to release the water or not. And this is environmental reasons, but also for economic reasons, because they want to show that they can produce the rice in a friendly way, environmental friendly way, because they can sell for more money. So there is a combination of this. And the main product that is used as an herbicide is Clomazone, that is used in different combinations, and they are using a lot. Clomazone is not a terrible molecule, it is moderate in toxicity and roughly cumulative, but still it's necessary to have a control and to know what is happening. So coming back to immunoassays, if we want to develop an immunoassay for Clomazone, we have to take into account that if we have a big molecule like a protein, the way to go is to have a sandwich acid, so we can have a first antibody to the second molecule and the second one to recognize it, and then the way we can enzymatic activity that will give us the tumor. But for small molecules, we need competitive assays. So you need to develop a tracer that has an analog to the analyte, and they compete for binding to the antibody. So the signal is not proportional, but it's inversely proportional. And this midpoint is used to characterize the sensitivity of the antibody. In general, there is no room for second antibody. In our case, what we did was to do this chemical modification of the original molecule and do conjugation. It's important to have a high density of the Hapten on the surface of the molecule. This is necessary in order to have an immune response. You can't have an immune response against small molecules. And then you need different immunization, and you can use different proteins here. And we can go for polyclonal antibodies, so this is very important monoclonal antibodies. Monoclonal antibodies are prepared by hydrodromatin molecule in general, and what you get is a cell line that you can alter, and you can have an antibody that is basically the same molecule. Here is the next. Here is the result. Here is the competitive assay. These are two situations. The situation is when we are using Clomazone as a protein method to formulate our tracer, let's say. And this is when we use this type of molecule to prepare a tracer. So this was analyte has to compete either with this or this type when both are conjugated to an enzyme, let's say. So in our case, for more or less similarly, many times you have a huge difference. But in this case, there was no particular reason to choose an enzyme. we decided to use this one because the assay was more stable and more robust. Here is the recovery in 5 water samples, and this is the comparison with L2T and real samples, which was quite statistical. Productivity with other herbicides that are commonly used in the agriculture was injected. And you can see the almost no productivity, and really, that of course is the Hapten we use. So then we did an initial experiment to check what was happening with the herbicide during the harvest time. We were with the institute that is in charge of agriculture in Europe, which is called IBCCF, and they have different experimental tests that you can see here. We were collecting the sample laboratory. This is the original 2 different irrigation conditions that are normally used. Some people used to water the fields rather soon after application of the herbicide. Some other ones, the other protocol that says they take a longer time. You can see that in this procedure, the concentration of the herbicide can reach very high levels. This is not a major problem in the water is in the body, but this can go wrong if there is too much rain or something that is there is some leaking during this period. So, and it's important that after the regular time that they use, the concentration is really small. So, but still, and this was repeated in different fields with more or less the same result. So this is a field the licensing sample has to be taken from the place to a small lab where this can be done. And the people that is working with this wanted to have a test that can be used on site. So the second part of my talk will be about this development, and I will also do. And this will bring me to a technology that we started to use to develop Immunoassays that realizing the use of Phage as Immunoassay reagent. So we introduced this a few years ago, many years ago now. Initially, the Phage is like this, is that you have in the Phage particle you have a different chemical structure, in this case peptide, and this can be huge diversity like billions of different peptides, and then you have the selector molecule and you have with the ligands to do the procedure. Well, how can this be useful? The phage we use is the bacteriophage, which is has this schematic structure, has several copies of the same protein, PHAIA, a few copies of other proteins, and the genome of these viruses is very simple, and you can modify it and add some small peptides to will still form this particle and express the peptide on the surface of the phage. In this case, we're using P3. But there are some modifications where you can use that phage, meaning the whole genome of the phage, and then you express a particular protein of the phage with your target peptide, and you control decollide that using Hapten phage. Provide the other proteins that the phage needs to be assembled, and then you can have a hybrid phage. Not all the proteins are now expressed in the recombinant peptide. This is important because it allows you to build larger fibers and have a better control of the density of the peptide that is expressed. we have two possible situations that we can express here along the stage the peptide using this deployment, this problem, or on the field. And in this case, the selection is driven by affinity because you have a very few copies of the stage. But in that case, the selection is driven by affinity, so multivalent binding is important. There are many other things that can be expressed in this stage. We are also now working with the production of antibody from llamas, because they have a particular antibody that is only 1%, and some other topics. So we are going to concentrate on peptides. There is the camouflage that is used. And we have a huge library, as we said. We have our antibodies. Let's say this is an antibody against the analytes, and then we do this scanning procedure. We select only the page that has the specificity for the antibody we find. Then we insert in collage. This is a very efficient process. So you can see the particles can be amplified, and you do this cycles 2, 3, 4 times, and then you're left with then you can go and select an individual page. And this page is more probably will have a specificity here for your antibody. Then you will use the secondary antibody here and have positive and positive clones and the sequences. And normally what you get is a bunch of sequences that have important residues. So we said, can we use page 40 as Immunoassay reagents? So instead of having the conventional complexity of the license, we bring out this page instead of the filters and use this as the page. This is what we did there years ago. And then you have a nice thing here that is simplification that you see on the whole page is huge. It's like 1 micrometer and then accumulating many enzymatic activity. So here is an example. We use for molinate with the lips, and we end up with this Phage Assay, and this is the conventional one. So we can detect here for the conventional one. So there is an increasing sensitivity. There are different sequences amino acids depending on if you do addition with a small amount of the analyte or high amount of the analyte. There are some tendency to select one family or another family. This is for monoclonal antibodies. For polyclonal antibodies, it's even better, because for polyclonal antibodies, you have a population of antibodies, and it's important to recruit those antibodies that have high affinity for the analyte. So the idea different pages that we isolate using this polyclonal antibodies with phenolic and nucleic acid. This is a hereditary metabolite, the formula, one formula. Their model is active, and the conventional acid has been neat form here. And you see that there was a very important increase, so the conventional acid was neat form. But this is competitive acid. So we want to, the idea, coming back to our idea of having an assay for fluoride, control of fluoride acid, we want to have an assay that can be used one side. If you want to have an assay to use entire acid, but also it's interesting to have a visual detection. You can just see color or whatever, just you can make it out. Here I have this slide to show you that if you're going for black to 20% less black, for our eye, it is not so easy to see. However, if you go for 0% to 20% of black, then it's much easier. So this is a positive thing, and in competitive assays we have difficulty. So we wanted first to develop a non-competitive assay. And this is not easy for small molecules, as I said at the beginning, because it's not possible to have two antibodies that can reproduce. But this is a competitive assay that we were mentioning so far. And we thought at that time that we using our libraries of peptides, we can find a peptide that can recognize this portion, even though it's a tiny portion of the analyte that is exposed to the surface. So we thought that we could isolate this tiny peptide, and we finally developed this system. We were able to do in this system, the antibody is combined to the analyte, and then the peptide can recognize the immunocomplex. You will not react to the empty antibody, only if this is present. Well, this is the procedure to select it. You can do the selection first, and you see here that there are phages binding to the immunocomplex and phages binding to the anti-antibody. So in order to get rid of these, you can do absorption step, and then do the time and end up having this. And I will show you some examples of these. This is, for instance, the non-competitive analysis that so after that we developed the molinate, we did sensor specificity, and there was a 17-fold increase in sensitivity compared to the competitive one. Some other examples, this is accuracy, different peptides, was down here, and the best one was 10-fold increase. This is cytosine. Again, we have a 12-fold increase. In the case of polyclonal antibody, again, it is the best situation because you can select the ones with higher affinity. In this case, there was a 100-fold increase compared to the smaller size. There is also the person of starting development for brominated herbicides. You can see again different peptides that can be used to adapt the assay. Sensitivity was also a huge increase with regard to the competitive asking for modeling. And this is the use of the assay with 5 drug samples. After okay, so let's come back now to the selection of peptides to competitive detection of proteins. And we usually prefer monoclonal antibodies. In this case, we wanted to have monoclonal antibodies because they can be produced over and over with the same characteristics. But we have problems to have good response to the mass. Initially, we have this is the competitive assay that we will have with the whole cell. So it was very promising because the value for the new part. But within a selection process, competitive selection process, we realized that we thought okay with an antibody to catch the different hydrogen secreted antibodies, and then give our screen by competition. So we screen like 200 clones using this method and select 2 antibodies that were not fantastic but were easy compared to the response of the cell. But this time is still too high, which is the one from the antibody. And then we use this antibody to try to develop our PHAIA. And you see here is the result of the selection. This is what typically get several points and have good reactivity, the gray line column here, when there is immunocomplex, and but when the analyte is not present, the reactivity to the anti-antibody. In this case, this is the kind of our 20 clones we got this 4 families of peptides, one of these and this particular one was the best for us. This curve, which was much brought the sensitivity from or the need from 20 to 0.6. So we see again a 10-fold increase in sensitivity. And this is a very good value. The limit we need to be able to detect is, let's say, 3 to 4 nanograms per milliliter. We did some laboratory experiments and found out that just by diluting the sample 2 times, you can go directly to the answer. Also, we show here that there is the is very specific, because if you compare, if you do the brominated immunization, that's what the immune system sees. This is the carrier protein, and this is the this is for injecting the animal. And the animal will prepare an antibody that is an antibody response to the solvent. And when you do competitive assays, the conventional one, you just are, whatever is here is not so relevant. So you can see these different bonds, all of them react with less reactivity, but still important. If you use a peptide, you have a secondary reaction, so there is increasing specificity, and you see that the reactivity to this side almost disappears. Almost the immunization between these two so the sensitivity was good too. And then just finish this is our end product. We were able to develop a method that is just in this case in the format of Immunoassay, where you can it can be done in an hour or so, and you can have a result in fast, because you only need to have 2, and then you can have, of course, you go to the open and do your analysis there. So the producer have now a way to decide whether it's fine to do the field. We are now trying to develop this in a more standard format, which is immunochromatography, where you have this is very similar to pregnancy test. You have a control line here. The Phage is labeled with carbon particles, and then there is an irrigation here, and if the analyte is there, it will be catched by the antibody here. The Phage, the Hapten, they will give us this control line. This is when there is no analyte. So this is just an idea of the development that we did. Now they can go and take a collecting cancellation and this the people that was involved in the development. There is one reason that Mariana Palomani that doesn't have it. And that's it there. Thank you.
My question is, do you, the phages are very large. Do you see any disturbances? You must have some kind of limitation in the presence of antibodies when you have the phages detector. You know what I mean? If you have some kind of...
Yeah, I mean the phage is a huge part compared to an antibody. We think it's a nanoparticle. It's a good thing to put in glass, because the reviewers want to see nano sample. So in that sense, it's good. But from the point of view of an immunoassay reagent, I think this is working like any other one. So we didn't find any problem. Sterility is fine. We had still Phage in the fridge for 1 year, and I mean, we had protease inhibitors just to take care of the peptide and some antimicrobials, but then they can stay as antibodies. So
I think I mean more that you get a spherical index if you have an antibody concentration that is above what's possible for phage to bind into. You can get a skewed effect dose relationship. But maybe you don't even come up to those concentrations with the antibody, so that's very controlled.
yeah, when we do our optimization, you have seen our results.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
Yeah, they are working. I mean, sometimes we have faced with some similar considerations from reviewers when we try to publish. That it's difficult to believe that it's working because it's strange, right? Because I don't think that. Actually, we are trying to get rid of it now, and we are using bioaccumulated peptides and using the peptide peroxide. So instead of using the phage, we're using the complex, that's terpentine and 4 peptides. The sensitivity is a little bit lower, so you're fighting with